Good morning everyone and welcome to today's meeting of the Grants Allocation Subcommittee. Welcome all in chambers and John Hayes online. We have a council blessing this morning. Perhaps Councillor Holbrook, sorry for the putting you in it. Would you like to say the blessing for us, Janet?
Hold on, I'm just pulling it up. E mātou e whiriwhiri ana I ngā take ki mua I mātou aroaro. E pono ana mātou ka kaha tonu ki te whakapau mahara hua pai. Mō ngā hapori e mahi ne mātou. Me kaha hoki mātou katoa kia whaihua, kia tōtika tā mātou mahi a mā te maia, te tiru whakamua me te hihiri, ka taia te arahi I roto I te kotahitanga me te aroha.
Thank you. Item number 3, we have apologies this morning from committee members Sarah Yule and His Worship the Mayor. Can I have someone move the apologies? Oh, thank you, Councillor Holbrook, and someone to second the apologies, please. Thank you, Councillor McCann. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Okay, thank you. That's passed. Items number 4, declarations of interest, please, relating to items on the agenda. I'd like to declare I have 2 declarations of interest. One being Capity Grey Power application. Just asking staff for advice on the quorum situation if I just sit back from the table and don't take part in deliberation on that particular one. And okay, and the second one being Otaki Montessori's application.
So you will still have a quorum if you sit back from the table but are present and not voting. If you were to leave the room, then we would have an issue with quorum.
Thank you very much. Are there any more declarations of interest? No?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just note that most of us know a variety of these people, but I don't have any other specific interests.
Okay, thank you. We're now to item number 5, public speaking time for items related to the agenda. Is this where we go into public presentations? Yes. Yes, okay.
So we're just waiting for people to come in on Zoom.
Are we running a little bit ahead of time?
We're about 5 minutes early.
Okay, great. I just want to bring to the attention of committee members and John, as we go into this deliberation, is that we have a scoring sheet that, because we have every single presenter, well, except for one or two, speaking today, we decided it would be quite a fair playing field for us to do our scoring as they're presenting. So, John, I'm not sure if you have a presenter.
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Yep,
yes.
Lovely. Thank you very much. So we can do that. Had there not been all the presenters presenting live, this would not be a fair playing field, but we've decided that it is quite good. Thank you.
Madam Chair, we have the first person in the waiting room, so we'll just... That's Peter Carrington.
Okay, good morning to our first presenter this morning, Peter Carrington. You have 5 minutes to speak, and there will be, and we will let you know when you're getting near to the end of your time. Okay, welcome. Oh, 3 minutes, sorry. Welcome. Don't turn my mic.
Mr. Carrington, are you able to hear us? You're currently on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I can hear you.
Please go ahead, Peter.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say we've been operating our addiction program in local counselling centre now for 23 years. We're certainly grateful for the help we've had from council in the past. We hadn't applied over the last 2 years because they appeared to be more for those affected a lot by COVID, and we operated as usual through that. And our payments via contributions from the clients from WINS remained stable, and our donations increased during that time. But at present, we haven't been able to replace the staff couple who moved last October, so the residential part of our work has meant that we've been able to only take 8 people instead of a maximum of 12, so our income's been less on that. Been looking at ways to ensure the long-term viability of what we do, and I've been comparing our operating costs of about $340,000 per year to other places working in the mental health and addiction of a similar size, and their budgets are between $1.5 and $2.5 million. So we do exceptionally well on the income that we get, but basically every dollar that we can get will be well used. I'm not sure if I've got more to say about that, but if there's any questions, I'm open to that.
Any questions from the committee? No, there don't appear to be.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Peter. That's very good of you, and staff will be in touch and let you know the outcome of this meeting today.
Okay.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much.
that heaps.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Madam Chair, we're just waiting on the next person. They haven't come in yet.
Madam Chair, can I make a suggestion? The presentation seemed very quick, and I probably could have had some questions, but just didn't have time to respond and find my place. Just as quite a lot of.
Perhaps I might request that we give the name of the organisation, because I've ordered it by name rather than the contact. So eventually I worked out that was Crossroads Christian Community Trust, but it might be quite good to identify them as such.
Madam Chair, we have the next person coming in, who is Jonas Cook from the men's group Kapiti.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you hear that, John?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. That's great.
Thank you. Welcome, Jonas. thank you for coming today to make a presentation about your application. You have 3 minutes to speak, and staff will indicate when you're getting near to the end of that time. Personally, love your application, love your mahi there. Let's hear what you have to say.
Kira, can you hear me actually?
Certainly, yes.
Perfect, thank you. Sorry, I didn't understand. How many minutes do I have?
You have 3 minutes.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so thanks for letting me apply. And yeah, the men's group is something what I thought that already exists in Kapiti Coast. So I attended few places, few groups, and realized that there's actually nothing like that. So that would be something very new. And the kaupapa is really to have quality time regularly offered to a man, to anyone who wants to join, and to have it available and well publicized, so everyone would be able to, not just to be referred, or not only people who have real troubles in their life, but just anyone, any neighbor, anyone from the neighborhood, all the way from Paikakariki to Otaki, or even visitors from other places. And just to have a quality time, professionally facilitated on the beginning, and in the meantime, growing new facilitators. So we would actually not need the funding after about 6 months. That's how I did it in here where I'm now in the Wairarapa. We started the men's group 3 or 4 years ago, and even though I moved away, the group is still continues. It grows. It doesn't need any professional facilitators, and it's sustainable just from Koha. So that's the goal for the Kapiti as well. And we would like to start as soon as possible. I talk to people in the community and see that there is a demand to have this possibility, not necessary to go for the counseling or to reach for the professional help, but to have a group of people who are meeting weekly or fortnightly, and knowing that there is this possibility to go and reach out and talk about what's honestly happening in our lives. And the reason for me to start it is also because I really need it. I really miss it in my life. So that's why I would like to have it not just for all the neighbors, but also for the selfish reasons for myself. And I believe that it will happen, and it will be very beneficial for everyone, not just for the men who attend, but also for all our relationships, for the families. We have a really awesome feedback from family members, from wives, or from children, or even from the from workspaces of the guys who are joining. That it really brings the very big improvement into their life, into their daily life, and mainly into their relationships, into their Sorry, is that it? Is time's up?
Yep, it is Jonas, but that's great. We got a really good idea there.
Yep.
I would just like to wait there. We'll see if anyone on the committee has any questions.
Jonas, I'd like to ask, how organised is this group? What kind of a structure have you got?
The structure is regular meetings, so that's the main thing. And what we want is to create a website, Facebook group, even to find events to make it clear when are the meetings, where are the meetings, and then the meetings have a clear structure about starting on time, and having introduction circle where everyone is invited to talk. Not everyone has to talk. That's the other thing. And there is a custom. There's the way how to spend the time if it's indoors, and then of course if we go outdoors into the wilderness, then that's a less. There is a beginning and there is end, but we really have a lot of time. We just sleep by the campfire and talk around the campfire, cook together, share the knowledge between the older people and the teenagers who are learning how to go to the forest, or how to make the fire, so that's the structure of the meetings.
Right, but do you have a bank account? Do you have a committee? The way, when you said you left the Wairarapa and you came here and it carried on in the Wairarapa, it suggests that it's more than just you.
Yes, exactly. But at the moment in Kapiti, it's just few people who are really excited to start something. But without any funding, we didn't start any. We are not a charitable trust or anything like that. So as soon as we would have a clear indication that we will get some funding, and of course we would have the bank account, and we would think what would be the best way to become some kind of legal structure. But
Thank you very
not
much.
yet. Yeah, sorry about such a long answer.
Councillor Hobart?
Yeah, thank you, Jonas. It sounds like a wonderful experience for people involved in it. Did you receive funding in the Wairarapa from council or any kind of similar source?
Yes, in the Wairarapa, we were lucky because we were based in Carterton, and so there was an organization called Kapai Carterton, and they had the direct funding from the Minister of Internal Affairs. And yeah, they were very excited, and they gave us the funding for the half a year to keep it going.
Fantastic. The koha at the events, how much is that per person?
Well, koha is not specified. So there are people who come and bring $20, and there are people who don't bring anything, or who on the end very often actually leave with some money because they, those are really people in need. So it's not required to have some minimal payment. So on the end, sometimes we have $20 from the koha, sometimes we have 50, sometimes nothing, and sometimes even below the zero.
That's fantastic. And what kind of interest do you already have from people in Kapiti to be involved in this?
Quite a few people already went. I started to talk about it, and quite a few people made an effort to go all the way to Wairarapa to actually see it happening, and especially for the overnight groups. And I talked also to all the existing groups, like I don't know how to the right pronunciation, Whirlwind.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was in one of the meetings, and I wrote, I'm part of the Facebook group there, and when I mentioned the possible outdoor sharings, or more organized, that people are actually not just having a meal together and having a talk by the table, but actually go to sit in the circle and really focus on sharing the stories. There was a lot of excitement, so I'm sure that we would actually have to use some limits to limit the numbers, because there are more people than I would personally be able to have in the room.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you, Jonas. The staff will be in touch and let you know the outcome of today's meeting. Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
Madam Chair, we don't have the next person. We do have the one after that. So if you would like to keep moving, we could move forward to Carl Weber from Kapiti Community Kapahaka.
Thank you. Good morning, Carl. Delighted you could join us this morning. Okay. Now in the waiting room. Okay, let me know when he's in. Okay, good morning, Carl. Delighted that you could come and join us this morning. We're really interested to hear about your project, and you have 3 minutes to speak to us, and then we will have the opportunity to ask you some questions. Go ahead.
Mr. Weber, are you able to unmute yourself?
How's that?
That's excellent, Carl. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, so kia ora. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for that. Thanks to the Subcommittee for the opportunity to speak in support of our funding application. Also for the opportunity to be able to submit to this fund. And also thanks to Aaron Cronin. His efforts in clear communication about this process have been really helpful. So my name's Carl Weber. I'm one of our Kapahaka group admins and committee members. I was tagged into a community post about the 15th of May last year, which has happened a few times around availability to Kapahaka. There was a conversation on Facebook. Bernadette Brown was keen to talk to it. So Bernadette and myself, we met on the Sunday the 23rd of May, and we decided to set up a Facebook page. Bernadette set that group up that night. We shared it around the community Facebook pages. We had about 200 members in 3 days. Our group's now at 369 members. I did our first community post for months last night. We've had 10 new members this morning. We have 5 volunteer admin and committee members. Koro Don has been supportive and gave us our name, Te Rupu Kapahaka or Kapiti. Nan Patia kicked us off in the Salvation Army Hall in Blue Gum Road. We juggled things around COVID, managed to get a few practices in. We needed to find a full-time venue and also a kaiako who could be able to teach some more basic te reo, waiata and karakia. We looked at all the council facilities. We settled on the Masongar Park sports rooms. Delmar Lloyd Mason offered to be our new teacher, which was fantastic. Delmar's been heavily involved with teaching primary schools. We've now had about 5 practices in our new location with Delmar. Our group's aim is to provide a group and place for people of all ages and backgrounds from the community to come and feel comfortable trying out kapahaka, te reo, karakia, and to talk about anything Māori. We're looking to make poi at our next practice, and Nan Patia has offered to come and teach us some poi. I'd like to set up a whānau group at some point, which will enable group members to come along and explore the world of things Māori, talk about and ask questions of each other in an environment and a space that's very user-friendly. We don't have a goal to be performing publicly at this point, but hopefully we will be at a point where we can one day. The main thing is that people are able to come join us at any point, and that we keep our learning at a very basic level, just to keep that ball rolling. I'll just have a quick look. I think, and we tick a lot of boxes. Where are we? Sorry. It was really cool to see all the applications you guys have got for this too. Just quite humbling to be part of this. Some great applications there. The criteria, so building resilient, sustainable communities, encouraging greater community participation, improving the quality of life of the participants, and working in partnership with a range of community groups, including iwi and hapu. I think we tick pretty much all those boxes. I think that the group ticks a lot of those boxes. What we're there for and what we're looking for is we're working on a gold coin donation. Delmar's teaching us for free. We're using our gold coins and topping it up to cover our members.
Carl, yep, that's in your application. But I'm just going to give you a moment here for questions. Do you have any questions from the panel? I have a question.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I just wonder if I could ask. You said before what we're about, and I'd like to get better definition of that, because if this is purely an artistic enterprise, we've got a little bit of a problem with the criteria. I suspect it's more than an artistic exercise. Is that correct or not?
Yeah, yep, sure. It is more than that. So, as I said, we're not there primarily to be a performing group. We're there primarily to be a group for people to come to feel comfortable, sitting down, building a fellowship, bringing in more members, and being in a safe and easy place to try out saying words Māori. What is a taiaha? What's a karakia? What's a hapu? Like those sort of questions are the things that we come up with. So it's not just about being artistic and doing, performing waiata or haka. It's more depth to it than that. So that's kind of where we're at. What we do hope is that we are seeds for people to take themselves further. So if they want to get more into the performing stuff, we've got other groups that do professional performances or a little bit more that focus. So yeah, it's a place for people to come to do kapahaka and to talk about things Māori and feel comfortable doing that. And we've got a great team of people there that are fairly open-minded and have a fairly sort of caring and kind attitude to other people, feeling a bit uncomfortable, especially so for some Māori. So for many Māori, there's a background sense of shame and not knowing our own culture. And to be able to share that with other members of the community is fairly sensitive, and we've got a private group that we do that in, and that's just us keeping a safe place. So if that helps, that's kind of where we're at.
Very much so.
Thanks, Carl. Councillor Holbrook.
Just a very brief question, Carl, and one which probably will only need a brief response. Great to see you here today, Carl, and this this kaupapa is very interesting. So, the membership sits at 354, and attendance is 20 to 40 persons. Is that 354 people who attend, and so it's a different group of people attending each time, or is there a membership outside of those who actually attend each week?
Yeah, thanks, Janet. We've got 369 members this morning in the group, so that's on our Facebook group. Our first lot of practices, juggling it around COVID, we were up to about 30 to 40 members. With this new start, we haven't done a public push for new members, and we've had anywhere between 6 to 20 people since we've been using the Amazinggarb Hall. COVID's been a little bit of a distraction, which has got way better now. And also, this recent weather's kind of shut us down a couple of times. And we were about 3 weeks, we just didn't have anywhere to do practices. And so we spent that time looking for a venue. Yeah.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you, Janet.
Look, thanks, Carl. Wonderful kaupapa. Staff will be in touch with you and let you know the outcome of the meeting. Have a great day.
Thanks, Sue. Thank you, and you guys too. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. Bye.
Madam Chair, next we have Lifford Stewart from the Whareroa Guardians Community Trust.
To go. Good morning, Lifford. Lovely that you could join us this morning. You have 3 minutes to just speak about your application and what it's for, and then we'll give the opportunity for any committee members to ask you questions. So fire away.
Lifford, are you able to hear us? And are in, but I can't. Lifford, are you able to check that you're not muted?
Can you hear me now?
Good morning, Lifford. Wonderful that you could join us this morning. You have 3 minutes to speak about your presentation, and then we'll have the opportunity for committee members to ask you any questions they have. Okay, thank you.
Good morning, tēnā koutou katoa. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm stuck at home with COVID, so it's nice to be able to zoom in. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Great.
Loud and clear.
So I'm the acting chair of Whareroa Community Guardians Trust, and we put in an application to request that you could please help us to destroy some blackberry that is threatening some of our planted trees at Whareroa Farm. It's we have active volunteers who regularly go around destroying blackberry. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but blackberry is invading all of New Zealand. And at the moment, our volunteers just cannot cope with some of the areas that we're trying to deal with. And this particular patch is threatening some plantings that were done by school children 3 or 4 years ago, 3 and 4 years ago, and it's an area that's just too steep for us. So what we want to do is just employ some fit young people who can get in there and unfortunately have to spray it. We try to avoid spray if possible, but this is not always the reality. So that's what the request is for, and I'm not sure how I'm going for time, but if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Clifford, I wonder if I can firstly congratulate you on your average age of 72 and volunteers, which
Yes,
I think is
I'm
remarkable. The other thing, this is DOC land, is it Department of Conservation land? And if so, what contribution have the landowners made to this project?
They definitely are involved. They're particularly involved with keeping open the trackways to get rid of any blackberry, but obviously the community grants doesn't attend to recreational facilities, so this is nothing to do with keeping tracks open. This is just simply about biodiversity. But DOC definitely work very hard on maintaining recreational areas, but they don't, where we've planted trees, that is really up to us. They do have a very small budget for maintaining biodiversity, but it's one person to do the entire Greater Wellington region. And in all honesty, poor old DOC, they're pretty cash strapped.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any further questions from the committee? Doesn't look like it. Thank you so much, Liv.
Thank you, Kid,
Thank
for
you.
considering.
Thank you for your work.
Bye. I'll just say, can I say very, very quickly, on a previous application Whareroa had, you contributed to our orchard, which is the most wonderful community orchard, and people really enjoy eating the fruit and making preserves from it. So we really appreciate previous contribution that community grants would have made. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Madam Chair, we have Jan Borland who's just come in. We are running a little bit ahead of time, but people seem to be popping up early. Jan is from the Paikakariki Community Trust. Jan, are you able to hear us?
Jan, you're still muted. Can you hear us at all?
I can hear you.
Perfect. We can hear you too now.
Good
Can
morning.
I start now?
Good morning, Jan. We're just Councillor Jackie Elliott here chairing. Welcome to this morning's meeting. You have 3 minutes to speak with us. Tell us all about your project, and then I'll give you the opportunity for committee members to ask you questions. So, fire away.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Jan Borland, the Secretary of the Paikakariki Community Trust, speaking on behalf of the Trust. The Paikakariki Community Trust was formed in 2007 when St Peter's Anglican Church in Paikakariki sold the hall next door to the community for $1. The Trust's main objective is to refurbish and maintain St Peter's Hall and to manage it as a community centre and resource for the whole community. St Peter's Village Hall is a community hub, a place where people come together not just for meetings and events, but for all things community. It is located centrally within the village, and for many it is the central core, the heartbeat and focal point of Paikakariki. The reason the Trust has applied for this grant is to enable us to better achieve our Trust objectives with the modernisation of an outdated website where we can better communicate with our community of Paikakariki. A more vibrant and modern website, which is being developed in partnership with an existing community platform called paikakariki.nz, will encourage greater community participation and have a wider reach. Another one of the Trust objectives is to develop partnerships with other organisations and agencies that will help the Trust achieve its objectives. By partnering with paikakariki.nz, this enables us to outreach further and more effectively into our community with improved and enhanced communication, promotion of community activities. It gives us more credibility with greater positive social outcomes and a cohesiveness as we partner together. It was the vision of several community members years ago that the community groups in Paikakariki work together under the one umbrella of paikakariki.nz, and this is now taking place. Last year, when the Trust realised its existing Google website was outdated, an approach was made to the organisation of Paikakariki NZ. We've been working towards this new website upgrade, and we are currently undergoing the development of this. Whilst retaining our own web name, which is called St Peter's Village Hall, it will sit under the framework of the larger group. We can share costs, and it has meant that our Trust was not faced with the huge cost of developing a new website from scratch, while at the same time fulfilling other objectives in the process. The grant will go towards the cost of this upgrade and training with the developer. Thank you.
Thank you, Lafette. Are there any questions?
Yes. Madam Chair?
Yes, Councillor Hobart.
Kia ora, Jan. Thank you for the work that you do and the rest of the Trust do. It's just, it's an extraordinary effort in the community and really successful and creating such a vibrant space. Just a little bit, just wanting clarification on the application. So the Paikakariki Community Trust website is a separate website, but it's been upgraded by Paikakariki Informed Community, and the invoice has already been paid for $2,000. Is that the situation?
Yes, that's correct.
Right. So, but it is a separate website.
It's a separate website sitting underneath the framework of theirs. It's actually the St Peter's Village Hall website, we've called it, rather than the Community Trust website.
Yeah, I think that's a good move. So, are you aware whether the Community Trust receives funding from council in any other way?
We receive a $5,000 grant, annual grant for the from the council, and for that we allow the community board to meet in the hall, and we don't invoice for that.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you very much, Jen, and thanks to the Trust.
Thank you.
Thank you. Staff will be in touch with the outcome, Lafette. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Madam Chair, we've got Kirsty Doyle who's just come in. I'm just checking if she's able to hear us. Kirsty, are you able to hear us?
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you. So we've got Kirsty Doyle from Otaki Promotions Group.
Thank you. Good morning, Kirsty. It's Councillor Elliott here chairing the meeting this morning. Thank you very much for coming to join us. We're really keen to hear about your application, which you have 3 minutes to speak on, and then there'll be some time for committee members to ask you any questions. So all yours.
Okay. I'll just very quickly just close the blind behind me because I think that I'm possibly glaring.
Good idea.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Kirsty. I'm from the Otaki Promotions Group. Lots of you would actually know that we are the group that put on the annual Kite Festival. We've put an application in for a different project that we're working on that we have actually run for a few years. It's a Light Up Otaki Festival, which encompasses 3 different parts. the Light Up Otaki business business competition, which essentially private businesses light up their shops to bring some Christmas cheer to the town. We also do a residential map as well, which is something that's reasonably new, and the money they're actually asking for on this occasion is something that we did last year. We set up a really visual display in our Otaki College school hall, which was open to the public. From there, people came through. It was sort of a taster to see whether or not whether people were interested last year with anything that's new. We didn't know sort of whether it would take off or not. It was extremely popular. We had about 350 people through. It was done on a koha basis, and we raised about $650, which we donated to the local food bank. We're hoping to do it on a grander scale this year after testing out the venue, that the venue actually works really well. We haven't gone into any great planning yet because we're just sort of at the funding stage to see whether there is interest from the community and whether or not we can get some funds to make this a special event. All the students, sorry, not the students, I work at a college, all of the kids that came through were given a little goodie bag to take home. It's quite targeted. It's not really something for the older people of the community. It's not really for older teenagers. It's more for the younger sort of family groups that came through. Those that came through were really appreciative that there was something for the younger children to come and have a look at, and lots then followed on to go and have a look at our local community, looking at the maps with the different houses that were decorated.
Thank you. I have a question here from Councillor Hobro.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, through you. Thanks for coming along today, Kirsty, and sounds like a wonderful event. Traditionally, these Christmas events are an opportunity for local businesses to promote themselves during the Christmas season. Do you, for instance, for your giveaway bags, do you get sponsorship from local businesses or donations or items or anything like that?
Yes, we were. Last year we did have, it didn't work, the business part didn't work very well last year. We had a lot of people that had registered interest and we were very excited because we had more people. There were an awful lot of things that sort of, I don't quite know why it wasn't as popular. We had a couple of places had just issues in the lead up, but yes, we would. It's more of, we see it more of us sort of providing the ability to, oh yes, we could easily get some sponsors. Normally we haven't. We did have one company that wanted to sponsor the goodies bags, but that didn't come forward. With the festival, with the actual event in the school hall, we weren't sure, we didn't promote it as well as we could, but yes, we certainly could look for sponsors to help out with costs and things. We had a lot of goodwill within the community. Places like the Concrete Doctors, they lent us for free all of their event fencing, and then we had other sort of good sponsors rather than actually giving money towards the event.
Yeah, that's more the kind of sponsorship I was thinking about, though. It seems like it might be an opportunity for event sponsorship as well. I don't know, but so just to be clear, so this is for the whole event. So for the map and everything.
Yeah.
For the lights
yes.
on houses, not just the event.
Well, the event is probably the most time-consuming part because we're actually open for quite a few days.
Yeah.
And there's actually, while the breakdown cost is actually the breakdown part of the project is quite quick, the actual setup is really time-consuming, and it's sort of, yes, it is for the whole event, but certainly the bulk of the money would go towards like the koha for the venue that is actually to put towards the college. They actually wouldn't take the koha that we offered last year. They actually donated that to the food bank as well, but I think it's something that we need to sort of to offer, and the volunteer costs and things goes towards the cost of the people that come to help out. We provide lunch and those sorts of things during the time. but the promotion would certainly be for the entire 3 parts of the event, and the giveaways is we provide a prize for the viewer's choice of the outside exhibitions, and also giveaways for the people that come through, for the children that come through the actual events. But yes, it does cover all 3.
So it is a competition. So there's a prize for
It is a competition. The Business Lights is a competition, and they've been the winners of those 3 different categories that we got. They get a food basket, which is just a selection of Christmas goodies out to the businesses. The viewer's choice also gets a basket as well. So we've got a voting system online where people can go around and look at the business. The idea behind that is we hope that people will actually go out, look at the businesses, and then come back and vote, essentially, to get some business feedback, to get some sort of people looking around at the local business. The lights competition for the residentials display is not a competition. It's just really a map for people's viewing pleasure.
It sounds just lovely. So you do have a few people with a history of events organising on the panel, so we're well aware of the huge amount of work that goes in by you and your group. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. And Councillor McCann.
Kia ora, Kirsty. I just want to pick up on something, maybe a little bit of a slip of the tongue, but because your organisation is called the Otaki Promotions Group, you then noted in your presentation that the promotions weren't that good. So I just want to drill down on that for 1 second, because I'm sure it's a slip of the tongue. When you're marketing
No, it wasn't. It wasn't actually very well. The actual event at the college wasn't promoted very well. We weren't sure we weren't entirely sure that it would work very well at the college, because the hall is such a big facility. We weren't sure how the event would come together. With anything, when you're setting up to start off with, I don't know if any of you came and had a look through, or if you looked at the links that I provided with the application. We used event fencing to break it into lots of different sections, and we just weren't 100% sure that it would go really well. We thought we'd put some effort in and see how it worked. So we didn't. When I say it wasn't promoted very well, if we're successful this year, we would go out and we would go into the different newsletters to let the public know that it's on. We'd put a sign up on the college, those sorts of things, and put a feature into the local newspapers. So it wasn't promoted very well. Really,
Thank you. I think that helps clarify what I'm thinking, and I'm sure you'd be promoting directly within
absolutely
the schools.
Yeah, we would be doing Facebook. We would be doing all the newsletters, as well as the different media outlets that we can.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It sounds great. Staff will be in touch with you with the outcome of today's meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Madam Chair, we don't have anyone else left before this break. There had been from Kapiti Horticultural Society. We've missed them. The team's tried to make contact, hasn't been successful. We'll keep trying, but at that stage, the next one's at 10:45.
Okay. Yep. So we'll just adjourn this meeting for a morning break.